Thanks for staying with us. We still have Shankar Santhiram in the studio with us, and he's been talking to us about the 80-20 rule. But now we're going to apply that 80-20 rule into what you've been telling us for the past couple of weeks and how we become a good person and a better leader. How does that work?
Well, the 80-20 rule impacts the way we actually think about life and think and see life. There was a lady called Catherine Kramer who set up the Kramer Institute in St. Louis in the United States, which talks about efficiency and organizational growth. And she says that we tend to focus on the wrong things in our day-to-day life. Like most of us, so for example, I have a friend who called me a couple of days ago and said, I need help. I said, what's up, man? And he was in a bad state, real bad state. And I said, what's really the problem? And he goes, well, I received a demand letter from a lawyer because,
oh my goodness,
10 years ago I had a credit card, I completely forgot about it, and I thought I paid it, but I didn't. There was like 2,000 ringgit left on it, and nobody came to me. Now they've given it to a collection agency, and I've suddenly found that I have a bill for 18,000 ringgit.
Wow.
And the guys called me this morning, harassed me, and said, I got to pay 3,000 by the end of the day. Can you lend me some money? I said, firstly, calm down. Secondly, I'm not lending you any money. Thirdly, let's have a little chat about this. And I said, what if... And he was so focused on the negative impact of this telephone call that his whole day was all gone. And he was very upset because he was prepping himself for a big job. So the work that he does requires him to whatever. He was prepping. And he said, I've spent the whole day fretting about this, that high-value, low-value tasks. If we don't understand the difference between high-value and low-value tasks, we will always end up doing this. Now, some years ago, and with my friend, I explained this to him as well, and I said, break it down, focus on what you can do, focus on the fact that the bank has not, and focus on the fact that the bank has actually given it to a collection agency, focus on the fact that the collection agency is not actually the bank. And then go and negotiate with the bank, and the bank just wants its principal sum back. Have a chat with them. He pushed the collection agency aside, went straight to the bank. Prioritized, went and had a chat with the bank, got off, he paid $1,000 and walked away. As opposed to 18,000 ringgit.
But what if everything seems important to you? Then how
That's the problem. Everything is not important. And that's the fundamental truth. Most of us think everything is important. It is not.
So is it a change in the way we view life?
Absolutely. Change the way you view life and work out what are high-value tasks and what are low-value tasks. For example, if you own a bar, or if you own a club, or if you own a restaurant, for example, if you're the owner of that restaurant, but you do other businesses, right? It is extremely low value on paper for you to sit in the restaurant every evening until 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. Extremely low value, all right? Because you're not actually
doing anything.
You're not supposed to be there. You're the business owner, right? But for the first 3 months of your new business venture, it is vital that you sit there every day because that seemingly low-value task is extremely high value in the first 3 months. Because high value in the first 3 months because you sit there, you observe systems, you make sure your managers run the place properly, you deal with customer complaints, you look at whether people are efficiently functioning, you look at whether they are able to understand people's requests, customers' requests, and deal with setbacks. Customer service has got lots of setbacks all the time. You do all of that, and then you write notes, and then you speak to your team every day until you get it up to scratch. Right? Now, after the 3rd month, it's completely low value for the owner to sit in the restaurant.
So the minute you get it off the ground, then it doesn't make sense.
Well, it's not a question of getting it off the ground. The minute you understand that this is high value for me, I've got to teach someone how to do this. The teaching becomes important. A lot of us in our workplaces, what we end up doing is I say good people, better leaders. You've got to understand, be a good person first. That means you give someone a job and then you say, go and do it. And then they come back to you after 1 month and they mess up. And you get upset with them. And after 3 months, you let them go, you find another person. Right? And they'll do the same thing. Because you think, wow, I'm paying you, so you should come. What is the problem? Why are you not coming and doing this? Why are you not coming in? Why are you not actually performing much better? But the point is you didn't spend enough time at the beginning teaching them and training them and matching expectations. And that's essentially the problem.
I guess that's where the good people bit comes in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's where the good people bit comes because you can't be a good leader if you're unable to engage and inspire the people who work with you, around you, and who hold hands. With you when you actually want to achieve something in life. That's it.
Is that why they say, don't pick a job, pick a boss?
You never leave a job. You only leave a boss.
Yes.
You leave people. You know, if I say I don't want to do this anymore, it'll be because of you. I just don't like you, and I don't want to be on, on TV with you anymore. Really, literally. Do you know what I mean? A lot of it is like that. If there's no chemistry, I mean, I love coming here the last Tuesday of every month, only because I meet you guys. Do you know what I mean? Primarily because it's fun when I'm on air. But if it's no longer fun, I will make a decision and say, like, actually, is this high value or low value for me?
Okay.
For example. So that plays a huge role. And engagement levels are vital.
Now, say, for example, if you've gotten the good person right, you're a good person, you're a good leader. Once you've established that, what is the next step to take it further?
You must understand, first is focus on what you're good at. No?
Okay.
Focus on what you're good at. Don't ignore what you're not good at. Right? Learn. Most of us take what we're bad, put it right in front of our face.
Yeah.
And then go, oh my God, that's my problem. I was having dinner with a friend last night, and she's doing an event, and she came to have a chat with me, get some advice on how to do this event. Fantastic, it's an exhibition, great, excellent stuff. And I thought it was a very good idea what she's doing. And then as we were talking, she said, I'm getting demoralized a little bit. I said, why? She said, no, I need 30 exhibitors to come for this particular event, right? And I'm calling some people. I get really nice people who say, yes, I'm interested. Send me a proposal, give me the booth sizes and, what my return on investment is going to be. But every so often I meet some person who questions me and makes me feel really small and tells me that I don't know what I'm doing. And then that messes me up for the rest of the day, for 2 days. And her partner who was there said, that's her problem. She's in charge of business development, but if she has a bad phone call...
Yeah.
Then
everything goes out the window.
Messed up for 2 days, and we don't sell anything for 2 days.
Okay, wow.
And that happens to the best of us. We get affected by people who give us negative feedback.
Yeah.
Also because from the time we are at school, all we do is focus on that. When people tell you to go and study, when you are Form 4 and Form 5 and all that, they don't go and say, go, learn and understand so that you can have a great life. They'll say, you better go to study, you're not going to fail your exam.
They expect perfection at the end of
and
the day.
what is the predicate? The predicate is you're going to fail your damn exam.
Yeah.
So we've been educated from a very young age at looking at the wrong things.
100%.
But as an adult, I mean, it's easier said than done. I mean, Shankar, you seem to have overcome the problem. I mean, I faced...
Practice.
Yeah, it
is
practice.
Just practice. Wake up every day and make a conscious effort to focus on that which is good in your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? I'll give you an example. 15 years ago when I set up EQ Training and Development, my company EQTD Consulting, first 15 years ago, I was unable to sleep at night because I was always not sure where next month's bills are going to be paid from.
Yeah.
I mean, how much business do I have? Will I be able to sell stuff? Will I be able to get my clients in? Will I be able to pay my EPF and staff salary and rent and etc., my own personal stuff? So it was huge drama. 15 years down the road, I sleep really well. I have absolutely... And someone told me, oh, of course, you're much richer now. I said, no, I'm not.
It didn't happen overnight.
Actually, yeah, it didn't happen overnight, firstly. Secondly, I still don't know where my income is coming next month from.
Okay.
Right? I have slightly, okay, that's unfair. I actually now know 3 months ahead whether we have business or not.
Okay.
That's something which my own organization, we've perfected the art of actually we have a 3-month plan all the time.
Yeah.
But the difference now is self-efficacy.
Yeah.
Right? Self-efficacy simply meaning that I go to sleep and I know, it's not magic, not like, it's not like Malaysia boleh, everything can. The sloganization that we do in this country, which is absolute nonsense, I think, right? It's an actual understanding of what I'm capable of.
Okay.
Right? Which I have self-efficacy skills. I don't panic now. I can sleep really, no problem. I have no idea where next month income is coming, or 2 months from now. January of 2016, I'm not sure where income is coming from. But I have, enough. I back myself and say, I'll be all right.
It is self-belief at the end of the day.
It is self-belief. And, that's why the second driver, first one is set your goals. Second one is, develop a sense of belief.
Yeah.
The developing a sense of belief is what will help you with high-performance culture. Because if I wake up every morning debilitated because I'm so afraid whether I'm going to be able to make ends meet next month, am I focusing on the problem or am I focusing on the solution?
Yeah.
I'm focusing on the problem. And when you do problem focus, you don't get anywhere.
Yeah.
Just now we had our Iron Man. I can't remember Mr. Yim, Mr. Yi, right?
Yeah, Mr. Yi.
Mr. Yi, man. I mean, look at him. He says, Sunday, I go 6-hour bike ride. You and I will die.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Thinking about it, and he passed out just now when I was listening to him. But that's
I was getting dizzy for a bit hearing.
Absolute self-belief, right? Yeah. This guy has got 78 years old, and says, "What? Think can I do?"
Yeah.
Do you know, and that self-belief, and then high-performance culture. Like, he made a very interesting point. He knew what a high-value job was for him. Right? He said, I don't go out, I don't do this, I don't... But he made a real... He said this 2 or 3 times in the interview. He said, what do you... When you asked him, what do you do when you're not... When you're not... You drink? I drink beer. Obviously, drinking beer is an important part of his life. Right? It is simple, like for me, and I don't know about you, but for me, it's an important part of my life.
Socializing.
Socializing, or just basically consuming a drink, a glass of wine here, or a bottle of beer, or a shot of whiskey somewhere. For example, that's important. But what we do is, people who are high performers understand when that becomes a high-value task and when it becomes a low-value task. Now, even in, for example, sitting... Like, for example, and we're not encouraging anyone to drink, obviously, just like you were not encouraging people to smoke earlier, right? It's a reality in life, right? So you go to a bar and you watch people sitting and drinking until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. If they do that repeatedly every day, you know that it's a disconnect in their head somewhere about what their life is about.
Correct.
Right? And then you will meet someone who's a real high performer you never see, but once in a while they'll come and they'll go... 3 hours, 4 hours, and have a merry time and go home. And you know this person has actually worked out high... what is high priority, what is high value, and what is low value. Low value is drinking every night. High value is drinking when you want to de-stress, drinking when you want to be with your friends, or drinking when you want to actually promote your business, for example.
Still being able to do all of the other things that make you function. But what I find really exciting about what you said just now was the fact that,
Only the one thing? I thought you find many things that I say
many exciting things, of course, but this is one thing that I still have playing in my mind right now, is that the 80-20 rule, it sort of changes from time, because you started with the 3 months, the restaurant analogy. So it's very flexible at the end of the day, isn't it?
It is.
Nothing set in stone.
Yeah, nothing in life is cast in stone. Firstly, right. Secondly, it is also, what is the word for it now? It is situational.
Okay.
Right? Everything in life is situational. If people ask me what is the best type of leadership, whether top down, bottom up, whether it's inspirational leadership, engaging leadership, I'll tell you what the best leadership for me, at least in my experience, it's situational leadership.
Okay. There
is no one brush that you can, use to stroke everyone. Absolutely not. And you take different, you take different times, you do different things, I have a friend who owns a bar who doesn't drink at the bar at all and doesn't let any of his staff drink at the bar.
Okay.
Right? And then I know somebody else took over the place and they allowed all their staff to drink. Right? And suddenly the performance and efficiency of the bar became much better.
Oh, wow.
For example. So I had a little analysis and I thought about this and I thought, hang on a minute. I understood the first guy why he did it, because it was a good idea. Because, that's a bad thing to have your staff all kind of, getting all, messed up with alcohol. But then I talked to the second guy and I said, how do you do this? He said, they're all allowed to drink. They have freedom, but they all know when to draw the line. And they also know that if they cross the line, they lose the job.
So they've clearly gotten their priorities straight at the end of the day.
Situational leadership.
Situational leadership. But, finally, before we let you go, Shankar, what is the one thing that
stay
our viewers...
as long as you want.
No, it's a 1 hour show.
It's a 1 hour show,
limitations.
that's the thing. So, finally, what can our viewers, do today to make a change when it comes to...
First thing, take a sheet of paper right away, write down the 10 most important... First is, ask yourself what you get paid for. What are the most important things that you get paid for? Right? Like, for example, you guys sitting here, what do you get paid for? Don't answer the question, because I know I'll get a wrong answer for you. Because you look perplexed already with that kind of question, right? But put down the 3 most important things that you do, right? Which bring the highest value for you, that you get paid for, right? So, for example, as a trainer, so I do corporate training, right? When I wear my trainer hat, what is the most important thing I do? Standing in front of a classroom and training. That brings the highest value. What is the second most important thing that I do? Going out and selling my training programs. The third most important thing I do is actually preparing for a training program, researching. So these are the 3 most important things that I do in my work life, right? And when I did this analysis 10 years ago, I found out that these 3 were only constituting about 30 to 40% of my week.
Okay.
Bad averages. Wow. I needed to increase that to 80%. That's the 80-20 rule. Focus on the things that bring you the highest value. So first, ask yourself, what is the highest value? In your case, for example, as TV presenters, I don't know, what will be the highest value for you? To actually have a job that allows you to be in front of a screen. Now, for that to happen, you need to have knowledge, you need to have skill, and you need to look fairly decent. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, not too decent. It's like, fairly decent is enough, right? Meet a particular standard. So that would mean be in shape and, spend time in the gym, shave your face once in a while, cut your hair, trim the beard, you know, there's all of that, wear the right clothes.
Yeah.
So, you know, you start doing high value, low value tasks, you know. And what is high value? And one of the most important things, as the world is changing, TV presenters need to be more intelligent, for example. Unfortunately, you know...
You're stuck with us.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but, you know... But no, I wasn't going to say that at all.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Okay.
So, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's then you know that a lot of what I need to do also requires me to do research,
Yeah.
to learn, to watch other people, to find mentoring with people who are actually very good at this type of work. You know? Yeah. So that's what you need to do. Write down the 3 most important things that you do that bring you the highest value, and then check and see whether you're doing that or not.
Okay. It's as simple as that. It just takes one man like Shankar to just nail it into heads. It's been an absolute pleasure. We will see you in a month's time as well. It's
Please.
been...
So you're not going to say no after all my insults?
No. We will say yes.
We love hearing from you.
Because you are the
Want
man.
my insults, right? Fine.
Yes, indeed. But tomorrow on V-Buzz, we look at how a little accessory could mean the difference between life or death when we speak to the people from Yayasan Medic Alert Malaysia.
The Credit and Debt Management Agency of Malaysia is back to educate us about the types of financial scams out there and how we can, keep ourselves on guard.
Indeed. And on Motivate, Activate, Shuhada Alauddin of MyReal continues to inspire us with a cheerful and colourful outlook on life.
Keep writing to us, by the way. We'd love to hear your feedback, suggestions, and who you would like to see on our show. That's vbuzz@astro.com.my.
Yep, that's right. And of course, do not forget to follow us on Instagram at vbuzz_HD. It's been a great time bringing you all today's episode. I'm Jay Walia.
It's been fantastic, actually. I'm Roshan. Till next time.
Bye-bye.